If there is a puddle of water near your furnace or air conditioning system, the problem could be that the condensate pump is not working. I'll briefly explain how a condensate pump works and then show how to troubleshoot a condensate pump. These pumps are usually found next to a furnace and sometimes next to an air conditioning unit. Condensation is collected from a furnace, an air conditioner's evaporator coil, or water from a humidifier is collected in the pump's reservoir, and then it's pumped outside or to a drain. This is a Little Giant brand pump. A Beckett, Hartell, or any other brand pump will perform the same functions as this one, though they may be slightly different. The condensate water drains into the reservoir of the pump. As the water in the reservoir rises, it pushes the main float up. When the float gets high enough, it closes this micro switch. 120 volts is then applied to the pump motor, and the pump motor runs. The pump draws water through these holes, and the impeller spins, and it forces water up through this tube, through this one-way check valve, into a tube that goes either to a drain or outside. On some pumps, there'll be a second switch called the safety switch. The wiring from the safety switch is connected in series to the thermostat circuit. There's a second float that's connected to the safety switch. If the pump fails and the water in the reservoir fills up and pushes this float up, the contacts on the switch will open, and to prevent water from overflowing in the reservoir and causing a flood, it shuts down the heating or air conditioning system. Let's get started on the troubleshooting. Follow the power cord and ensure that it's plugged into an outlet. It could be hardwired into a switch. Make sure that the switch is turned on. Ensure that no breakers are tripped or shut off. If the pump has power and there's water overflowing on the top of the reservoir, then it's likely that the micro switch for the main float has failed or the pump motor has failed. You could take the plastic end of a screwdriver and give a little rap at the micro switch for the main float and see if the pump runs. Often when micro switches fail, they'll work if you give them a little rattle. Please be careful because there's 120 volts on some of these connections. Don't touch any of those. If the pump has the safety switch and your furnace or air conditioning won't run, you can empty the water from the reservoir of the pump. That will buy a little time until you can replace the pump. If the pump's not overflowing and you're not absolutely sure that it has power, you can test the pump. Locate the drain hose and put a cup under it. Pour some water into one of the holes at the top of the pump. And check and see if the pump runs. Don't run the pump without any water in the reservoir. You could damage it. If water drains out into the cup at the end of the line, then you know that the line is not clogged. If the pump runs and it can't push water up through the drain line, then possibly the impeller on the pump is dirty and needs to be cleaned. Maybe it's broken, or perhaps this valve is clogged up. It's a good idea to occasionally clean the pump. Algae and debris can build up inside the pump and clog up the impeller or the one-way valve. I also have a video that shows how to clean a Little Giant condensate pump. Click on the channel name to find it. Remove the drain line from the valve. Remove the valve. Try cleaning the valve and see if that solves the problem. If the valve is working correctly, air should pass through it in this direction, but not in this direction. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Click on the channel name Know How Now for other helpful videos, and thanks for watching.